Hey everyone, how's it going? Juan Dhas here, and welcome back to this course I'm doing here on Mike's Masterclasses and wrapping up the series I started with What Makes a Strong Solo. For those who haven't, I did a part 1 on this course where I was talking a little bit about introducing the 3 things that tend to make a strong solo. They're not all the points, but they're kind of 3 major pillars that I use to work with students to work on building stronger solos and building a little more security in their linear playing. And I also touched on the first pillar, which was melodic clarity, and which makes up a very large part of this, and it's kind of one of the factors that really requires someone to put in a lot of groundwork. And a lot of groundwork in understanding the fretboard and this and that, but once understood is usually taking care of a pretty significant chunk of taking a solo. However, if you checked out that video and checked out that course, you'll realize I mentioned 2 other pillars, being your rhythm, and rather your rhythmic phrasing and your time feel, and 2, your actual phrasing. How do you play these melodies? How do you play a solo? So that's what I'm going to be dedicating in this part and wrapping up the series. And hey, if any other topics come from this series that you'd like me to cover, please let me know in the comments on the trailer here on YouTube, so that I can make a note and maybe do another course further down the line on the video when I get a chance to do one. So let's get into it. Now, when I'm talking about rhythm, rhythm is one of those important things that sometimes when beginner improvisers or people who are just getting started on the journey tend to fall into a trap of not having a variety in their rhythmic phrasing. And usually when we refer to rhythm, there's a lot of stuff out there on time feel, so I'm not going to dedicate too much time to that, or I might talk about that separately in another video, because there's so much to be covered about time feel that I think it wouldn't do it justice. But I would like to cover rhythmic phrasing, and how can someone improve their rhythm? Well, first let's do a brief breakdown of what are some of the common problems that tend to arise when people start taking a solo. Excuse the dogs in the back. So what tends to happen? Well, usually what I notice is either beginning improvisers tend to kind of repeat the same rhythmic ideas and don't feel comfortable with the rhythm in general, or their solos kind of tend to be a drone, and sometimes there's actually not enough space. So, how can we rectify this? Well, the good thing is some of this can be done without even touching your instrument. Some of it can be done with just working with a metronome or even just kind of singing. So one of the exercises I like to do is just snap on 2 and 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And sing the rhythms for bop heads on top. So for example, let's take, I don't know, let's take a blues head, like Billy's Bounce, right? 1, 2, 1, 2. ba-do ba-do dee ba-do ba da ba da 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 dee ba-do 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 ba ba-dee ba ba bum be be da ba da be da bo be do bo da ba-do ba-do dee ba-do ba-do ba da bo da. Right? So we're taking this and we're taking the rhythmic language from this stuff. And the reason I like bop heads, especially for kind of a swing context, is that they're very rhythmic. Even something like anthropology, which has a few more eighth notes in there, like oh, two, ba do ba do ba dee ba 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 do ba dee ba do ba ba dee ba dee ba be do ba dee ba be ba ba do ba dee ga ga dee ga do ba do ga, something like that. There's already a lot of great rhythmic vocabulary in there that you can kind of steal and take for yourself. So for example, those upbeat phrases, if I slow it down, right? So we can take that phrase and then, let's say, incorporate it into our playing. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4. So let's say if we apply that in the context of a blues. So there I'm taking the idea and just pushing it about a blues. And you can do this with any rhythmic cell you like. But the idea is to strengthen your understanding of rhythm and your feel of it. Another exercise you can do, quite basic again, you can take a metronome or snap on 2 and 4, and you can do this practically anywhere. You don't need the instrument with you, is to just sing different aspects or different parts of the bar. So let's say we're dealing with swing here, and you can apply this to straight eighth feels and straight 16th feels. I highly suggest doing this in any feel you can, not just a triplet grid. Is to take, but we're going to work with regular swing eighths. So snap 2 and 4, and practice what it feels like to sing each beat of the bar, both the downbeats 1, 2, 3, and 4, and